All right, guys, today is episode 5, and I got some really great stuff for you. Why? Because today we're going to buy our .com. I'm going to show you where to go. We're going to get all kinds of fun stuff. So the first episode I want to talk to you guys about is what is the niche you're going to pick? What are you going to process? What are you going to say? Who are you targeting and all that other stuff? We're on episode 5 where we covered that. If you missed that, make sure that you go to my timeline. There's episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and just watch those episodes so you can catch up. If you're new to this episode, I recommend you just sign up and register. Add me as a friend. And so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to get the .com to get started. We're not going to build the website. We just want to make sure that we have the domain accessible. That way, when we do build the website and we make all the graphics with the .com, and then we go buy it and somebody took it. So you want to make sure you have the .com so that we can make all the graphics for the videos. So stay tuned. That's what we're going to do right now. So let's do that right now. All right, guys, this is how easy it is. I've been doing this for 25 years to buy your .com. All you do is you go to the web, you click Namecheap on Google, you search. Once you search, you'll find it and you go to Namecheap and then you look for your .com. In this case, the .com is going to be livestreamhelpers.com. Does that tell you what we do? Does it give you a hint? And that's what you want out of your .com. I mean, if you come up with your awkward name, only you know what it stands for. This is plain and simple live stream helpers. So that's what we want, and we click go. And guess what? It's available. So we add to cart. As you can see, it's $888 a year. So we add to cart. We view the item on the pop-up. $888, $9 total. We check out. We got to make sure that it's correct. Livestreamhelpers.com. 1 year. Confirm order. Boom. So we confirm order. We log in. And we check out. Confirm order. Yes. It's $9 total. What credit card are we going to use? And your total is $906. Pay now. And there it is. Thank you for your purchase. We're all set. You see, that's all there takes to do this. So you go to namecheap.com. And one of the reasons we do this is because we can go to GoDaddy. We can go to other places. But this one is consistent $8, $9 a year. Like for a long time. Whereas GoDaddy sells it to you for 99 cents, and then the next year is $19, and then $20, and then $21 a year. And basically, what I'm saying, if you go through GoDaddy, the first year is 99 cents or $2.99, and then do the math. If it goes up every year, that means if it's 19 now, next year is 20, next year is 21. So 19, 20, and 21 comes out to about $60. So $60 you spend on 3 years. Whereas with these guys, for 3 years, you would spend 9 times 3, 27. So it's less than 50%. If you want to waste money with GoDaddy, go ahead. Being efficient, being a good steward, being a good manager of your money. And this is the way to go. And that's all there is to it. All right, guys, so as you can see, it wasn't that hard to buy the domain. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the hosting. I'm going to set up the links and all that stuff for you guys. So that way you guys can get your hosting. We got the website. We got our hosting. What else do we need? Who cares? Let's take care of the hosting. Let's do that right now. All right, for you guys that don't know what hosting is, it's basically a place for you to set up your files for your website. And so that people can type your .com that will direct them to your hosting so that all the traffic can be going to your hosting, because you don't want that on your personal home computer. That way people don't hack you. So that's what hosting is. It's a place to hold your files. You can call it hosting. Let's call it hosting because that's what it is. So let's begin. To get your hosting, all you have to do is go to Google and make sure you type this address right here, store.rockin.com/question. Link equals 131.52. Otherwise, it's going to take you all over the place, and it's hard to get to this spot right here. This is exactly where you go get your website. This is a section for, if you want to do multiple websites, I recommend you do this. If you're only going to build one site, I recommend you go with this. And the difference between the two is this. Check this one out. For one site, the prices for one site versus the price for multiple sites, which you can get up to 10. We'll do the math right now. As you guys can see, if you get it monthly, you pay $13.95 a month. For 10 months is $139 plus another 27. So you're looking at about 160 or so, 50 something. So you save 22% if you buy the yearly one. But if you buy 2 years, you save 36%. And if you buy 3 years, you save 43%, which is basically half price. So you can buy one for a year or spend a little bit more, and you'll be able to save about almost 50%, but you're going to get 3 years instead of 1 year. If you're planning to keep your website longer than 1 year, I recommend you go with this 3 years. This is for 10 websites. This one right here, as you guys can see, it's $7.95 monthly, so $70.50 for 10 months, and another $15, so about $86 for the year. But if you get it for the year, it's $83 and you save 13%. If you get it for 2 years, you save 25%. And if you get it for 3 years, you get 38%. The difference between this one that's cheaper and the other one is that this one you could only build one website. And again, you can put many .coms into this one website, but you can just hold one website at a time. If you plan to do other businesses, which I recommend you do, then I would recommend you go with this one. This one right here for 3 years would be your best bet, the $286. For 3 years, you save 43%. But that's your choice, what you want to choose. So you guys decide, and that's all there is to it. So we're going to process this. Once you make your choice, again, I highly recommend you get the 3 year, because you save 43 to 38%. Regardless, that's a very good savings. If you go month to month, you're going to pay a lot. And the reason I go with this hosting is simply because of this. There's a lot of hosting companies that can charge you cheaper, but we're using this software called Joomla. Rockin', it's specifically designed to work with Joomla. If you work with GatorHost or Site1 or Site5 or One-on-One or GoDaddy, I can tell you with all this 25 years I've been doing this, they suck for Joomla. They're great for WordPress. If you want to have little toy websites, then go with WordPress or go with Wix or that basic stuff. But I'm teaching you guys the most powerful software in the world today, used by Starbucks, by McDonald's, Barnes & Noble, and a bunch of big corporations. So this is the heavy duty software, but don't worry about it if it's hard or not, because I'm going to show you how to use it. But first, let's get the hosting. If you get hosting cheaper somewhere else, you're going to have struggles. Your website's going to lock. It's going to bog down. They're not made for Joomla. Understand that. If you're going to use and work with me, you need to use Joomla, because that's what I work with, only the best. And this is the best hosting there is for Joomla, hands down. Okay? So that's the main thing about that. So again, this is the link you use to get to the hosting, so you can get to this page to choose your package. So let's just say we're going to be smart. Once again, myrockin.com / link equals 131.52. Okay, so type that. You will end up in this specific page, and you can choose. I recommend you go with Buy Now, which is 10 sites. So think about it. The other one is 83, and let's look at the prices again. These are the prices. For 1 year is $83. For 1 year is $131. So it's almost double the price, and that's a lot. That's almost like a big difference. Why do you want this? Because think about it. For 1 year, you pay $83 for one website. But for 10 websites, you know what you can do? You can use 2 of those for yourself, and you got room for 8 other websites. And guess what I teach you? I teach you how to make websites. I teach you how to sell them. And so if you could sell the websites, then imagine, instead of 1 year for $83, you're gonna, if you get them individually, 83 times 10 is $834, right? According to this, $834 to host 10 websites. $834. But with 10 websites, you only pay $131. So it's better to go this way. That way you can have a website, you can have a backup website, you can have a landing page, you can sell the other 7 leftover websites. And I normally sell them for $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a website. So it's more important that you go this way. Trust me, if it only takes about 10 minutes to build a website max, then you can build the other 7 websites for peanuts. for nothing literally, and you can make some serious money. So that's what this is all about. Again, being efficient, being a good steward of knowing how to use your resources, your finances, and stretching your dollar as much as you can. And God knows at this moments like this, we got to stretch our dollars however we possibly can. So I can't stress enough to go with this particular one. And I recommend you get the 3 years, because $286 for 3 years, 43% off, is basically under $100 a year to build 10 websites. $100 a year to build 10 websites. So it would be like $10 a year per website. Whereas this would be $83 a year for just one. You see the difference? So once again, choose the bigger if you can, the 10 websites, because that's the best way to go. Okay, so now that I've convinced you to go with multiple sites so you can make some serious money, now we go to buy now. And what we're going to do for the domain is we just got the domain, we put the .com, which is the one you bought earlier, and then you scroll down and a new website. So you click next and you scroll down, and no application to install. We're going to do it ourselves. So you click no application, install, and then are you in the UK or North America? Most likely, if you're watching this, you're in North America, because I am not advertising in the UK. However, just so you know, the servers are registered in London, which means when there's a lot of traffic on the internet on America, that means that in Europe, they're kind of asleep. Not many people are using the internet, which means if your server is over there, you are going to have a lot of free traffic for people to surf your website while the American servers are flooded with traffic. Europe is asleep while people are doing business in America. Therefore, the servers are free for Americans to use. Everybody's going to have smooth sailing. Those are just little tips for your North America. But rockin' is in the UK. Just so you know, American companies kind of hesitate to work with the UK when it comes to hosting. So you most likely will have to verify or call your bank and tell them, I'm about to set up a charge in the UK for hosting. We're rocking, so you can approve the hosting. Otherwise, you might have some billing issues, but it's all right. It's worth it. And then you're in North America, because that's where you're at. And then you click next. And then you're going to say, I want it for 3 years, or I do anyway, right? And then we go next. And the total is $284 for 3 years, which is under $100 a year. I agree to blah, blah, blah. I agree. And you put in your name here, your last name, your email, your company, your address, your city, your zip code, your phone, your card number, and you click buy now, and that's it. All right, so you see it wasn't that hard, right? So we already got 2 steps in, and now you already know who you're going to target and everything. This website's going to be awesome. Of course, the .com, what did we get? For myself, I got livestreaminghelpers.com, as you saw. And now it's time to prepare, because this is exciting. But before we build all that stuff, I want to share a little story with you guys. I've been doing clients and business and marketing since I was like 9 years old. There was no internet. It was face-to-face. It was flyers. It was all kinds of newspaper ads. And all of those principles got transformed onto the web. And so now that that's in place, now we can work from the web. We don't have to do print, save the trees, and all the echo stuff. So use this time wisely. And I want to share just a little brief story about me. I'm not going to go all crazy, because we don't have time for that. We want to focus, but I want to share with you guys some personal stuff of how everything got started. And then from there, that way you guys can see where I'm at today. And then you guys can make your understanding of why I think the way that I do. First and foremost, I want to thank God for everything, because without Him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and you wouldn't have the skills that I'm about to teach you unless you went somewhere else that gave you a big old circle. And you don't want that. We want things to be smooth, to be fast. So this is my story. I hope you guys like it. Watch this video, and I'll be right back. Have you ever really asked yourself, what the hell was I thinking? Many of us take our resources and opportunities for granted, while others do whatever it takes because of their hunger to get at least a bite. God forbid that maybe you too will one day face that same shame if you haven't already. We are pre-programmed to survive. People will laugh, degrade your worth, because, as they say, People are people. It's a nicer way for saying that they too are lost and scared. We can't live like that forever. So we run and we rush into whatever we can get ourselves into to make ourselves feel productive. We treat everything as if there is no time, as if time declared war on us because there is no vision or plan. We hope that something good would actually happen for once in our life. Everything around us seems to wither, as with all the things of old usually do. All we need is to find something that will make us money, we say. And yet we see others have so much that they need trains and trucks to carry their investments, moving slowly but surely all the way to their banks like clockwork. I move slowly and nothing. I move fast and nothing. Have I become stagnant? Someone once told me, just because I'm busy doesn't mean that I'm actually being productive. Maybe it's true, because I have nothing despite of my efforts. I keep nothing. Sometimes I get a bonus. As I look around for a fine spot to rest and enjoy my found plunder, the lack of a rose's fragrance does not get me down. It's been years since I took the time to smell them, so I enjoy a well-deserved vice that holds me back. Well played, Mr. Time. Your war to win is working. Touché to you, I say, old friend. I am so alone despite of everyone surrounding me. What has come of my fate? What has come for what I was meant to be? Unless I get up, make a solid decision to let go of such vices that choke me, I stand no chance. Yes, I will rise. I refuse to be exterminated by my own mind. I try until I thrive. I will not settle for getting by or merely just existing, living only to consume. A selfish life, that is. Many gather for so-called great causes, but totally and hypocritically ignore any other cause, including the most important ones, helping people, instead of just their vanity movements. I see the world in a new way, but the world sees me the same. Nonetheless, I look up and I too must focus on the opportunities that lay before me. They are abundant and calling me. Can you hear them calling me too? Have my eyes of oppression been removed and replaced with eyes of hope and opportunity? Yes, they have. I know my place and I know my purpose. It is to help those that are lost and confused like I once was. Do you guys need help? So that's what it's all about. It's about helping people. It's about circumstances, improvising. It's not about being in your comfort zone. Forget about that, because that comfort zone we used to have, it's gone. Time ran out. Party's over. It's time to work from home. And so we're going to get started. Now we're going to start doing the graphics for livestreamhelpers.com. Right? Livestreamhelpers.com. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on some graphics. And as soon as we do that, we're going to start the next phase. So let's do the graphics real quick. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, guys, let's start with the graphics. One of the things we're going to need for the graphics is Photoshop. As you can see, we can click here and type Adobe. And these are all the Adobe products that I have. It's a big membership. It's about $3,000 for all this stuff, but we don't need all of that. All we need is actually just Photoshop. And Photoshop is right here. So we open it up and we're going to create a new project. Control new. And sure, we can do that. There's the graphic. This is our blank canvas. You can get a little brush and kind of draw whatever you want, but obviously that's not a good logo. You know what? It actually looks like a little puppy. I don't know if you guys can see what I see, but there's the puppy. Right? Anyways, you put the little nose on it. There's your puppy. but we're not worried about that. What we're trying to do is make a logo. So you don't want to overcomplicate things. What we want to do is we're going to go to Google and we're going to type live stream, because obviously live stream, because what we want is and then we go to images. Here's a little trick for you. These are all the logos for live stream. There's all kinds. And again, we don't want to overcomplicate everything. We just want to keep things very simple. So this one looks good right here. But here's a little trick. Go to settings, go to advanced search, and then you go to here to any size. We're going to go to like a 4 megapixel and higher. That way you don't get results of tiny little crappy ones that are pixelized, like dotted and stuff. So we go to advanced search. And we pick a logo. This works, right? But the problem is, let's do that. Let's do a download. So we click save image as, downloads. Sure, we save it. All right, so there we go. So this is what the logo looks like. So what can we do? Obviously, we can't use this logo right here because we'll get in trouble because it's Facebook's logo. But this live is pretty generic. Anybody can make it. So how do we modify it? This is the part I can't teach you. It's up to you to be creative. To me, being creative is being like a child. And it's kind of impossible to be like a child because you got to be creative and you got to think. I choose to be as a child. God says if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must be as a child. And unless you have security that a father offers you, a place, no worrying about bills, no stress, living in La La Land just like a child, then your mind is free to be creative, to think of anything you want. If you're all gung-ho, you're on your own, you're going to carry all these stresses and you're not going to be able to be creative because your mind is all over the place. Stop watching CNN and all the stupid news and Fox and everyone else. But that's another point. We're talking about being creative. So for me, what I want to do is I want to cut out this Facebook. So what I do is I cut this live right here. And then we create a new layer. Control new, enter, Control V. There we go. So what can we do? We can get this live and we can put it here. And we're going to do Control copy, Control V, Control T. We raise it up to about right there. We make it a little bit bigger. That sounds about right. There we go. We delete. Actually, we don't delete this guy. We color it in. That's the bottom layer. We erase all this live underneath. Now we have a live. So now what we want to do is we want to cut this guy out right about there. And we cut that out. And once we cut that out, this is what we get. So then what we want to do is we want to cut this piece right here. We'll do that. Sure, why not? Control copy. Bring down the line here, Control V. Now we have like a little thing here. There we go. That sounds about right. We make this guy and then we copy the bottom of this one and we put that there. There we go. So we want it to look something like that. And now we're going to type and we'll type. We want white letters. So we click here and put Control V and we stretch it from corner to corner. In this case, it's about that big. Don't worry about this right now. Drop it down, center it, and then we center it. And there's our logo. As you can see, that's all there is to it. So now we have the graphic. We're all set. We got our logo. And as you can see, the letters are a little pixelized. I'll fix those, but that's all it takes to build your logo. And you see, that's all it takes to do the graphics. If you want to learn the Photoshop stuff, I'm going to have courses on that for Phonebookia. Also sponsored by Phonebookia.com. What's your story? And that website is pretty cool. That's where the courses are going to be taking place. But if you don't know where to get Photoshop, the link is going to be below. Let me show you where it's at. Check it out. All right, guys, to get Photoshop, all you have to do is go to adobe.com, adobe.com, and then you click on Creativity and Design, Featured Products, Photoshop, Buy Now, and it's $29 a month. Add it now. Blah, 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 blah. And do now $20 a month. And it's worth it because you can basically pay the $20, get all your graphics done in one shot, and then just cancel the thing. And then whenever you need to use it again, reapply instead of paying month to month in case you want to save some money. Again, being a good steward, managing your money. And that's all there is to it. Plus, another little tip, you can go to Adobe coupon code, right? Adobe coupon. And just type it, official coupons, you click wherever, and here it is, blah, 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 some creative, and then that's one of them. Usually go somewhere else like promo code, something like this, retail me not, sale all Adobe coupons, 60% off Creative Cloud, and you can get the deals, and there's all kinds of differences depending on what you want. But that's how you get your link for Photoshop, so you can be able to create your graphics, and that's it. All right, so that's all there is to get your Photoshop in order. What else are we gonna need? We got the Photoshop, we got the domain, we got the hosting. What else do we need? We need to do critical thinking as to what we're gonna do for the story. Who are we targeting? I'm targeting with this website people that want to live stream. So we're gonna take care of that. And of course, now we gotta figure out where I'm gonna get the hats from, where I'm gonna get the t-shirts, because everything's gonna be reversed, as you can see. You don't have to use this type of equipment, but I wanted to do this because now when you have the camera closer to you, it's more intimate. So what you wanna do is you wanna blur out the background so you can focus on the subject, which would be me. And that way you can get more intimate with your guests. If you use your phone, what's gonna happen is everything in the back is gonna look super clear like this. Let me show you. I don't know how long that other one's gonna take to record, but I think we can get a few simple. Can I see that? Yeah, there we are. And as you can see, everything in the background is super sharp, which means your eyes start wandering everywhere, looking at all the background and all that. And you don't want that. You want the focus on you, so you want to blur out the background. There's different lenses you can use to blur it more. The pros and cons of a DSLR is this. If you make sure that the background is blurry, the focal length, which we're going to be talking about the photography part, the video part, the lenses, because if you want to go that route, I recommend it. It's more expensive, but if you got the money, I recommend you do it, because the more professional you are, the more serious people take you, right? So right now, as you guys can see, this lens is kind of blurring the background just a little bit. But if you use a different lens, this is what happens. If you use like a lens like a 1.2, from the side angle, it kind of looks like this. Like from here to here, you only got this much gap of focus, which means right here, like right here, hold on a second. Right here, this lens is focused from me to here. But if I get closer, then I'm blurry, right? And if I back up, then I'm also blurry, as you can see. So you got a very little gap for you to move, so you can't be like, what's up, guys? What are you doing? Because then the focus is totally off. So you don't want that. You want to mark your chair. I put some little tape marks where my chair is supposed to be. That way, you can come off focus, then everything is nice and smooth in the back, blurry, kind of fuzzy. It's called, what is it called? Gaussian blur. It's called Gaussian blur for Photoshop. And you can blur out things and make them look a little more softer. But that's another class. Again, today we're talking about, for you guys that are joining us live right now, thank you guys for showing up. We're talking about episode 1, what it takes to start your business, what it takes to maintain it, and what it takes to scale it. So that's what it is for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and we're gonna be able to have episode 6. And I did the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth episode in different formats, different cameras, different microphones. The very first episode had a bunch of noise. Why? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get all these effects. And so it's kind of an example to show you guys. Check video 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 episodes, and you'll determine that this is the way to go, because it sounds crispy. I can whisper and you guys can hear me, and there's no noise in the back. Why? Because I got some awesome mics, and I'm gonna share links with you, what mic I'm using, what camera I'm using. And by the way, this camera came out in 2009. We're practically in the middle of 2020, which means this camera is 11 and a half years old. So do you need to buy a super expensive one? No, you just gotta know how to improvise equipment. And once you understand that the key is audio, the key is lenses and lights, it really doesn't matter what camera you use. So thank you guys for joining me today. Tomorrow's thing is we're gonna go through the critical thinking of what we're gonna do and start dabbing into creating your Facebook page, creating your business page, so that way you can make your post. And then we're gonna get into marketing, because that's like the best part. It turned off on me, it should turn off on you right now too.